I'm gonna be blunt. I think COVID really fucked Jodie Whittaker. She only got 6 main episodes, and then they finished her off with three specials. And the first 6 episodes aren't very good. She gets a whole six-parter. Um, there might be stuff like that in the old show. I don't know. There's probably some old New Who fans, if this video ever gets popular, yelling at me in the comments about how Tom Baker had like a six-parter or something. But yeah, I've never seen a six-parter before in Doctor Who. They're usually two-parters, maybe a three-parter. Um, and I don't think they handled it very well. They just kind of throw most of the Doctor's big foes that she's either faced before or hasn't faced yet. Like, oh, look, here's the Daleks and Cybermen, people she's faced before. They have little minor roles, and then they give the Sontarians and the Weeping Angels a role too in this six-parter. Oh, and on top of that, let's introduce a new villain called Swarm that apparently has history with the Doctor, and let's kill him off in the final six-parter. So, really, no point in introducing him, because I doubt he's going to ever come back, like characters like the Master and the Daleks and the Cybermen. But, yeah, really fucking stupid. Um, the first episode, I'll try and talk about them as best as I can. They kind of blur together for me. Most two-parters I can talk about each part, but a six-parter? I watched the first 2 episodes the same day. The first episode, we very briefly get the Weeping Angels. They kidnap this girl named Claire. Most other episode is the Doctor with this guy named, like, it's something a K, I forget. He's like this dog guy. We'll also find out later that the Doctor apparently dated him as a previous Doctor. And we also get a little bit of lore where apparently he can't tell her how he knows her and blah 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 because like poison will go into his brain and kill him. And his entire race gets wiped out. He is the only one left. Don't know what they were doing with him, but wow, they gave him a lot of fucked up shit. Made him a very sympathetic character, and then just... he's gone. Because he hasn't appeared since. Hasn't been in the 14th or 15th Doctor's series, but... and 14th Doctor only got a few episodes. 15th Doctor got 2 seasons, but still. Yeah, I don't know really what they were doing with that. Just very, very strange decision to me. This first parter, they also introduced this guy named Dan, who basically becomes a companion for the rest of the show. Besides one episode, which I'll talk about that. Episode 2 is called War of the Sontarians. Again, I'll try and talk about this as best as I can. So we see the Sontarians, they're in the past with this girl Mary, who's apparently like this real life person. The Doctor Who does stuff like that all the time. And she would like tend to Russian soldiers, even though, you know, she was supposed to tend to American people, but she was like a nurse and didn't discriminate. So she even tended to our enemies. I do remember actually hearing something about that in history, but it's been a long time since I've been in, you know, middle school, because I believe that was probably when I heard about it. Or maybe even grade school or something. Because they do teach you about history pretty early on. So she's actually tending to a Sontarian. I don't like the design of the Sontarians. I don't. And they just don't really hit the same as previous versions. They were first introduced in the 10th Doctor's season. In New Who, anyway. I know they were in the original show, too. Like the Daleks and the Cybermen. They have, like, this war cry called the Santa Ha. I love when they do that in other episodes. I didn't like it here. It kind of gets you pumped. Even though you're not exactly rooting for them, you're rooting for the Doctor. I love when they do that. It's like when the Daleks say exterminate or the Cybermen say delete, which they don't really do that as often now, which is unfortunate. I don't think they've done it a single time in the 13th Doctor's seasons. And they've been pretty big 13th Doctor villains. So, yeah, they just don't really get me that pumped. One of the guys does a typical thing where, he kills the Sontarans when they're fleeing, and the 13th Doctor gets mildly annoyed with him. Like, she doesn't even have that big of a reaction. Nothing against Jodie, that is the writing's problem, but wow, that is not really a Doctor reaction. I still wish you would have got a fucking speech. Like, that's a big part of the Doctor. Like, just one speech that makes me go, oh, she's the Doctor. She's never been a character that I've gone, oh, she's not the Doctor, like a lot of sexist fanboys online who say Doctor Who fell off after Peter Capital. I've never watched an episode and go, oh, she's not the Doctor. So that is a good thing. But at the same time, she has moments where it's like, what are they doing? So yeah, that's like the second episode. The third episode references one of the first episodes of New Who. I caught it immediately. I don't know if other people did. I did see a video online where somebody did catch it. But yeah, the Ninth Doctor, when he met Rose, he said, nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life. The 13th Doctor says that. She goes, nice to meet you, Dan. Run for your life. I really enjoyed seeing that since the Ninth Doctor is my favorite Doctor. So I guess that was kind of cool. Honestly, I don't really remember much about this episode. Yaz and this guy Vendor, they get stuck in time or whatever. The Weeping Angels get a bigger role in the fourth episode. They turn the Doctor into a Weeping Angel, and then she just kind of gets out of it. I don't remember them actually solving that problem, which is just so stupid. Oh, and there's this character, Peggy, that got put in the past. She's a little girl. Yaz and Dan and this other guy get put in the past, and they're with Peggy for a little bit. Next time we see them, they're not with Peggy. I would have at least liked to get a scene where they say that they're leaving Peggy behind. Because that's just wild to me that they left this little girl in the past behind. Like, they're still stuck in the past. They could have took her with them. But no, they just kind of take off and leave her, this little girl, to go fend for herself. Just insane to me. And then chapter 6, there's this guy that we've seen here and there that made tunnels or something. He's also a real person. He helps the Doctor in the end, and then he just kind of disappears. The Doctor's mom is here. She gets killed by Swarm. The Doctor gets split into 3. So we see her with a bunch of different characters. One, she's just with Swarm, and the other person, I forget what the blue girl's name was. Then she gets split into a section with Yaz and them. And then she gets split into another section with Grand Servant, where she gets captured by Grand Servant, who's another character that they threw in there. There's so many fucking characters to try and keep up with in this 6-parter. Grand Servant's this evil guy that got people killed and was oh, make it look like an accident. And apparently he's like mean to this guy Vinder or something. So Vinder gets revenge by leaving him stranded on a planet because Vinder was also stranded in like the middle of nowhere in a spaceship. But he could like escape at any time. Grand Serpent really can't. So punishment isn't exactly the same, but I guess it's okay because he's evil. Swarm and the blue chick get killed. The doctor gets the watch to find out all of her previous lives. And obviously she just kind of like drops it in a hole in the TARDIS and doesn't give a fuck anymore. What? After all of this, we're not gonna learn some of her past lives? Okay. She says that maybe she'll look at it later if she really, really wants to. But I highly doubt that they're gonna revisit this plot point at least anytime soon. So that's just something. The very next episode is a time loop episode. They straight up say that it's basically a Groundhog Day knockoff, but I still really enjoyed it. It's a New Year's Eve special, so the time loop takes place during New Year's Eve. I really enjoyed it. Besides the two characters that get together, don't even remember their names. They didn't really have that much chemistry, and they're just kind of rude to each other. Well, mainly the girl's rude to him, and he's a bit of a creep. Yeah, so they get killed by the Daleks over and over again until they're able to figure out how to get out of the time loop, and they're able to do it in time. Because apparently, the time loop resets after, when it resets, they're a minute past the last time. So, originally in the time loop, it's like 11:50, but then the next time in the time loop, it's like 11:51. So every time the time loop resets when they die, they have less time. And if they don't make it out the next time, they're going to die, which of course they make it out. There's this girl who is miserable, hates that people are having fun, and she's rude to this guy, who I think is rightfully so. She even says it's a bit stalkerish. Like, he shows up to work every New Year's Eve because apparently he has a crush on her. It's weird, but they get together at the end of the episode or something. Dan gets the most personality in this episode. I liked him in this episode. But next episode, I can't say I really liked it. The next episode, we got like these sea creature monsters or whatever. Apparently the Doctor's met them before. I don't remember them. So they might be like an old Who thing instead of a new Who thing. But she said they were actually like nicer then. So, timey-wimey. So they're actually bad right now. Even the Doctors met them when they were nice. So, yeah. Once again, somebody kills somebody and the Doctor's kind of like about it. And I just don't get that. It's weird for the Doctor to be I still really like Jodie as the Doctor, and she's got her moments where I really enjoy her. But the writing just really does her wrong. The Sea Creature episode just wasn't really that good in my opinion. And her final episode is an hour and 28 minutes. It was pretty good. I liked it. We get the idea of forced regeneration. It might have been something in Old Who, but to me it's a new thing. Where as a punishment, Time Lords would force someone to regenerate into their next phase. So basically killing one of their lives. So he wants to force her to regenerate into him. So the Master briefly becomes the Doctor. The Master's even wearing her clothes and has her piercing. It's really fucking cool. I liked the Master in the Doctor's outfit. But they were too much of a pussy to put David Tennant in the same outfit, because when she regenerates and he's wearing different clothes. I had heard online that Russell T Davies, I didn't look into it, I probably should have, didn't want the Doctor to be in women's clothes when he's a man. But fucking the Master was in the Doctor's clothes. So I don't know how true that is. But I could see it being true, because every other time we've had the Doctor, they regenerate and they're wearing the other character's clothes. The 10th Doctor was in the 9th Doctor's outfit for his first episode. And even with the 13th Doctor, she was wearing Peter Capaldi's suit for the majority of her first episode. Hell, she didn't even get new clothes till the very end of the episode. So to immediately give David Tennant different clothes, very stupid and lazy in my opinion. I actually don't even remember Jodie Whittaker's speech, which I've liked all the other Doctor's speech, even if they were short, like 9 and 10s, like 11 and 12s were longer. But I don't even really remember her speech. Yaz decides to just fuck off, because the Doctor is regenerating. She's like, oh yeah, I guess I can't travel with you anymore. That is a crazy writing decision. There's been companions that have obviously felt weirded out when the Doctor's regenerated, like Rose and Clara, which is understandable. This person that you met ends up looking completely different. But Yaz doesn't even see her regenerate. She's just like, I'm out of here. Just wild to me. I guess they didn't want Yaz to be with David Tennant. Just okay. They bring back the one Cyberman guy who was really interesting, and he just kind of sucks in the final episode, at least in my opinion. The Daleks are also kind of here, but the Cyberman and the Master have way bigger roles. The Daleks are kind of just there. We also get returns of some previous actors of the Doctor. We see the 8th Doctor. We see the 7th and 6th Doctor. I don't know about the other ones. I think we do see other ones, but I didn't recognize who they were since, the actors were older. I recognized some of them, even though I haven't seen them. Like, I recognized 8 and 7 immediately. Other ones, it took me a little while, like the 6th Doctor. And we get 2 of their previous companions, Ace, who I've seen a little bit of via, like, edits on TikTok. I've seen her in an edit before. But I haven't actually obviously seen anything about her and her show. I liked what little we saw of her. They randomly bring Graham in. It was cool to see him back because I liked him, but he doesn't exactly do much. He tries to lie and says his name is something else, but it doesn't work because he's saying it to Ace, so the psychic paper doesn't want to lie to Ace or something, I believe is what they were going for. He says he doesn't know how to work it, but I think it was just because the psychic paper won't lie to a companion, because the companion knows it's psychic paper. I believe that was like an established rule. So we get Graham back, who had left last season, but it's the final episode, so we don't see that much of him. They make an excuse that Ryan's in Pontia or something. It was like a P word. So that's why Ryan's not here. Kate Stewart gets to meet the 13th Doctor one last time, which makes sense. because in a previous episode she had mentioned that she wanted to see this face again. So it was cool for her to see the 13th Doctor again. It's cool how long Kate has been in the show. And yeah, I think she actually appeared in the 6-parter. Or, like, that's the first time she had seen the 13th Doctor. Oh, we also get an Osgood mention, though we never see her. We haven't seen her since the 12th Doctor. We haven't seen her in fucking any of 14 or 15's episodes, and we didn't see her here. She breaks her, like, phone and says, Osgood, I'm going dark. I popped for that, not gonna lie, because I liked Osgood. So, yeah, Kate's pretty cool. She gets to see the TARDIS for the first time, and she's surprised that it's bigger on the inside. She was like, how's it bigger on the inside? And I was like, why is Kate having this reaction of all people? Her dad worked for the Doctor. Like, that's a big part of her. I really enjoyed The Master, and even though I don't think he really dies, I doubt we will see this actor play him again. Because at least from what I've seen, the Master doesn't usually, come back and fight another Doctor. Except for John Sim. He does somewhat appear in, the 12th Doctor's final 3 episodes. But he wasn't in the 3rd Christmas special. But, he was in the final episode with Missy in Peter Capitol's episode. But he wasn't... I don't know how to explain it. He wasn't exactly the Master. He was the Master. But it wasn't a continuation. It was timey-wimey stuff. Not him being the current Master. So I guess we could see him again. But I'm not sure. Hell of a ride. I'm done with Doctor Who for now. I will eventually watch Old Who. I do have it on my Tubi save list. All 7 Doctors are on Tubi. I'll probably buy the 8th Doctor DVD because I don't see it on anything. And I'll watch that sometime. Since it's a one-off, I'll probably watch that before I watch any of the other classic Who. But yeah, I'm taking a break from Doctor Who. 13 seasons. I've been watching Doctor Who for a year now. Where I've taken a few months breaks and started watching other shows, but I'm Doctor Who'd out. As much as I love Doctor Who, I need to watch something else. Bye, Jodie. You were pretty good. The writing screwed you. COVID screwed you. I really enjoyed your 2nd season. Besides, some of the stupid stuff they tried to push. I'm not one of those idiots that try and say climate change isn't real. But making an episode about how climate change is bad and it being a sci-fi episode and not a more serious episode is just very strange. That has still got to be one of the goofiest episodes I've seen of Doctor Who, where the episode ends oh, you're going to turn into one of these special effects, practical effects creatures that we have in this episode if you don't switch up climate change. Yeah, climate change has got really fucking bad. We just had a heat wave that had affected over 100 million people that lasted for a fucking week. People really need to wake up and realize that climate change is bad. It's bad and it's real. It's not some fucking conspiracy theory that the government made up. But that episode is really good. The ending is just stupid. Honestly, I can't name a worse Doctor Who ending. I still enjoy the episode. But man, that episode is something else. A lot of people hate on Fear Her and Love and Monsters. I thought they were okay. I can see why people don't like them. And they're obviously not as good as other episodes, like Blink or Girl in the Fireplace. Other episodes, whatever. But they weren't exactly bad. At least in my opinion. Just I still can't believe they did that. Where the episode ends like you're gonna turn into these fucking things that are breathing in carbon monoxide instead of oxygen. Just a very weird choice. You could have made a climate change episode be way better than that. I did really enjoy Jodie. She's a lot of fun to watch. I liked her reaction when she got the mail. I think it was last season. She got a fucking Fez hat because the 11th Doctor had actually ordered a new Fez, and it like finally got to her because of time travel shit. So she got the Fez instead of the 11th Doctor. And she's really excited to see the Kerblam Man. She's a lot of fun as the Doctor. Definitely overhated. I didn't like her as much as other Doctors, but at the end of the day, she's still the Doctor, and I still enjoyed watching her. Like, she did good. Not as good as others, but it wasn't her fault. And people need to shut the fuck up and move on. Doctor Who is literally a show about change. And you get pissed because a woman and a black man play the Doctor. You're a fucking crybaby sexist. And you're a racist. And that is it. I do really want to touch on another thing that had happened recently. People review bombed Ironheart before it even came out and gave it like a really low rating. I believe Rotten Tomatoes fixed that. It was like a 36% on Rotten Tomatoes before the show had even came out. Racist, sexist crybabies still exist. I'm so tired of people acting like racism and sexism doesn't exist just because black people and women have more rights now. It is still very much a problem. I don't want to get too much into it because this is a Doctor Who review. I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about. I do want to talk about Dan getting shafted. Like, I wasn't exactly attached to his character. He was fine. But yeah, in the final episode, he has like a near-death experience in like the first 10 minutes. And he's like, fuck this. I can't handle this anymore. And he just leaves. He shows up in like the last few minutes of the episode. So we get a little bit more of him before we go. But just really stupid. They just write him out of the episode. I guess they didn't know what to do with him in the finale.